How to write subject lines with SEO keywords. Your subject line is the only line most prospects ever see. In B2B Outbound, your subject line is the gatekeeper. Around 47% of people decide whether to open an email based on the subject line alone, and about 69% will flag an email as spam based on the subject line alone before they read a single sentence of your pitch. That reality matters even more when you look at baseline performance. Average B2B email open rates hover around 19.2%. If your subject line doesn't immediately feel relevant to the reader's job and priorities, your messaging, proof points, and case studies won't get a chance to work. At SalesHive, we treat subject lines like a revenue lever, not a creative writing exercise. As a cold email agency and SDR agency running outbound programs at scale, we've learned that the fastest wins come from matching subject line keywords to what your buyers already care about, then testing relentlessly until you can predictably turn opens into replies and meetings. Think SEO keywords, but for inbox intent, not Google rankings. Using SEO keywords in subject lines doesn't mean trying to rank an email. It means aligning with intent, the exact phrases your ICP uses when they talk about problems internally, search for solutions, and scan their inbox for something that looks immediately relevant. It also helps machines make decisions. Inbox platforms increasingly prioritize relevant signals and engagement, and Gmail has rolled out AI-powered changes designed to surface more relevant results in search. Clear, on-topic keywords in the subject line reduce ambiguity for both humans and filters. The practical takeaway is simple. Vague subject lines, quick question, force the prospect to do extra work, while specific subject lines, no-show demos at company, do the work for them. In outbound sales, whether you're an outbound sales agency, a sales development agency, or building an in-house SDR motion, clarity is what buys attention. Build a keyword map from ICP pains, outcomes, and triggers. The biggest subject line mistake we see is feature-first language. Prospects don't wake up wanting an innovative AI-powered platform. They wake up worried about missed quota, pipeline gaps, security reviews, churn, implementation delays, or messy CRM data. Your keyword research starts by collecting the exact words your buyers use for those situations. The best sources are already in your business: call recordings, discovery notes, win-loss summaries, support tickets, and the phrases that convert on your demo and pricing pages. If you also run list-building services or work with a partner who does, you can go one step further and tie keywords to firmographics and roles so the language matches the titles you're targeting. Keep the map lean so SDRs actually use it. For each persona, document pain keywords, what's broken, outcome keywords, what they want, and trigger keywords, what changed. This mirrors how good SEO is structured. Only instead of optimizing a landing page, you're optimizing the one line that determines whether your email gets seen. Write keyword-rich subject lines that fit on mobile and feel human. Most high-performing subject lines are short enough to scan and specific enough to self-identify. Studies consistently show that 6 to 10 words is a strong range, and top-performing lines often land around 43.85 characters. With more than 46% of opens happening on mobile, you're writing for a narrow preview window, not a desktop screen. A reliable structure is keyword plus context, where the keyword is the pain, outcome, trigger, and the context is the role, company, or time frame. Put the keyword near the front so it shows in truncated mobile previews, and avoid clever phrasing that hides the point, especially if you're selling a high-consideration service like sales outsourcing or an outsourced sales team. Use this benchmark table to keep your team aligned when you're building templates and training SDRs. If your subject line doesn't match what the buyer already cares about, the rest of your email might as well not exist. Use personalization to amplify keywords without losing trust. Keywords get you into the right mental category. Personalization earns the second look. Multiple analyses show personalized subject lines can lift opens by 20 to 50%, and in some reported cases, much more, especially when personalization is tied to a real trigger: new funding, hiring, expansion, tech changes, rather than superficial tokens. The mistake is confusing personalization with proof of stalking. Instead of referencing random details, personalize around professional context: role, team goal, region, initiative, or a known operational constraint. That approach is particularly effective for SDR teams selling outbound programs, telemarketing, B2B cold calling services, or a B2B sales agency offering, where credibility matters more than cleverness. This is also where process beats improvisation. At SalesHive, our SDR teams combine ICP-specific keywords with scalable personalization, so emails feel one-to-one without requiring reps to rewrite every subject line. When you support that with accurate data and tight segmentation, you can personalize responsibly at scale while still protecting deliverability. Avoid spam triggers and salesy language that tanks deliverability. A keyword strategy fails fast when it drifts into spammy phrasing. Overused sales trigger words like free, percent off, or even certain reminder-style language can depress opens and increase complaints. In B2B outbound, neutral business keywords tied to a real problem outperform hype because they don't feel like a promotion. Another common mistake is being too broad. Increase growth or boost productivity is not a keyword, it's a slogan. Strong subject lines sound like the buyer's internal conversation: forecast accuracy, CRM data quality, no-show demos, security review bottlenecks, implementation timelines, or pipeline coverage. Finally, don't let channel mixing muddy your message. If you're running multi-channel outreach, email plus LinkedIn outreach services plus cold call services, keep the subject line focused on one idea so the prospect understands why they're seeing you. The best cold calling companies and cold calling agency teams keep messaging consistent across touches, not contradictory. Test subject line themes like an SEO experiment, not a guessing game. The teams that win don't rely on opinions, they rely on iterations. Roughly 45 to 47% of marketers now A/B test subject lines, and companies that test consistently report returns that are about 37% higher than those that don't. Outbound teams should adopt the same discipline because you're effectively bidding for attention in the inbox. Test themes, not one-off word swaps. For example, compare a pain-first keyword, no-show demos, versus an outcome-first keyword, more qualified demos, or a trigger-first keyword, new SDR hires, versus a role-first keyword, RevOps. Then, measure success by the metrics that matter: replies and meetings, not just opens. Numbers can be a legitimate lever when they're credible. One study found subject lines with numbers achieved higher open rates, 24.97%, than those without, 23.34%. The catch is that numbers must be specific and defensible, especially if you're selling pay-per-appointment lead generation or pay-per-meeting lead generation, where skepticism is high. Operationalize your keyword approach across SDRs, data, and outbound channels. To make this work long-term, treat your keyword map like shared infrastructure. Document your best-performing keyword clusters by persona and industry, and standardize how SDRs build subject lines from those clusters so new hires don't revert to generic openers. This is one of the simplest ways to raise baseline performance when you hire SDRs or expand into new segments. Connect keywords to targeting. Clean firmographic and technographic inputs, industry, size, tools, hiring signals, make it easier to choose keywords that truly fit the account. When the targeting is off, subject lines become mismatched, and even great copy looks irrelevant. One reason many sales outsourcing programs underperform without strong data foundations. If you want to move faster, partner with a team that already runs the playbook at scale. SalesHive has run outbound programs for 1,500 plus clients and booked 100,000 plus meetings. And we continuously test subject line themes across industries to find what actually produces pipeline. Whether you're evaluating saleshive.com, comparing SalesHive reviews, or looking at SalesHive pricing, the core idea stays the same. Keyword intent plus disciplined testing is how subject lines consistently turn into meetings.